Yo, what's up guys? I finished 6th in the world. I'm going to be showing you my games that got me to finish number 6 in the world. Yo, what's up guys? So in today's video, I'm just going to be going over the replays that got me to number 6 in the world. Unfortunately, I didn't finish first, but I wasn't really the best season last season, so I wasn't able to even contend for first. I still got a single digit and pretty close to first, I guess, rankings wise, but in trophies wise, I was a little under 100 off, so I would say I wasn't really close. But stuff happens. I'll probably have another opportunity to finish first in the future. But in the first game here, I'm playing against El Patron. He's the best Giant Graveyard player in the game, but he still is a Giant Graveyard player. So even though I'm saying he's the best, that doesn't mean he's good or anything. So just go for the Mighty Miner ability on the Queen just because I want to damage it a little bit. And then I go for a Princess in the middle just because I want to clean up everything. And then I also go for a Cannon here and then Fire Spirit Log, hoping to kill the Queen. But unfortunately, the Queen doesn't die. So I go for Skeletons and on the Queen, and like a normal Giant Graveyard player, he does miss the arrows. Always funny to see them do that. So I go Princess here because I thought he would Minions, because if you look at his Elixir bar, he had 3 Elixir and Minions in cycle, so I thought he would Minions right away, but this is the one difference between him and Manuel. Manuel would have just went for the Minion straight away, but he waited, and then he split them to kill both my Princesses, so that was really good by him, but still getting 1,000 damage, so definitely nothing to be mad about or anything. And here I'm up half of an elixir. Not it's just, I'm up a little bit. So I waited a second because I wanted him to make a play. I wanted to see what he would do. So he Dark Princes the back. So I just go for Cannon because with my hand I didn't really want to cycle Log, and I also didn't really want to go for Cannon or Mighty Miner. So I just wait and then go for Skeletons on this Dark Prince here, and then it gives me a good opportunity to Princess at the bridge because if you look at his hand, it's Arrows, Skarmy, Graveyard, and Giant. So he had a really bad hand to defend the Princess, so he had to Arrows it. So then I just get a really nice Goblin Barrel there and some good Princess damage. So go for the ability, and then I log out the Skarmy, force out the minions, and I go for Skeletons on the Archer Queen. Then I know I can just clean up this minions with a Princess and just keep going in, because if you look at his hand, he's still not back to arrows yet. So I go in again, and he didn't have arrows. He's 1 card off, so I get 1 hit there. Then I go for Mighty Miner, obviously, to keep protecting my Princess. And then once again, as you can see, his hand is so awkward to defend. He has to arrows the Princess again just to get the Archer Queen down. So I just go for the ability just to keep damaging it. You always want to damage the Archer Queen with your Mighty Miner ability. Just go for a Cannon high to snipe the Queen, because I know if he goes for a Giant Graveyard, I can defend it with the Mighty Miner easily. I get a nice Princess here, so he's going to have to defend this. Then I go for the Mighty Miner in the back, because you always want to have your 3-card cycle. I'm annoying with my Fire Spirit. I put it right up to the Giant so it'll splash the tower, and then he does a really bad Dark Prince, so I Rocket Log it and the Giant, so that was really, really nice. And then I Princess to make sure my Mighty Miner stays alive more. He wasted his arrows again, so I don't really go in just yet, because if you look at his hand, he has Giant in hand, and I'm down a little bit, so I just go for a Cannon, and I get ready to Rocket on the Queen. And I Rocket on the Queen, go for Skeletons on the Giant just to kill it a little bit quicker, and then I wait a little bit, and then I get a nice Log on the Graveyard. When they have a tank on the Graveyard and your only counter is Log, you always want to wait for as many Skeletons to stack up as possible before it starts doing too much damage. So there I waited a bit longer than I normally would. And then my Goblin Barrel there gets a bit 2 lucky stabs, so I just Rocket Log to finish off the game. Pretty nice game overall, to be honest, but as a Giant Graveyard player, even though he is the best Giant Graveyard player and possibly the only one that's respectable, he still missed arrows on a Princess, so you can't respect him too much. So in the next game I'm going to be showing, it's actually against Royal Recruits Barb Barrel Arrows against Wotop. So this is I would say the worst matchup in the entire game for Log Bait, even worse than Lava Hound Arrows and stuff like that. Start with the Fire Spirit Goblin Barrel here, and honestly, going into this game I was already pretty defeated. I was mad because I came off a loss, and then I'm against this guy with a complete hard counter, so... And then I accidentally put my Log down there, so I'm already mad sending emotes because I assumed that I already lost because I just threw away my Log to Elixir, and terrible matchup. So he goes for a Flying Machine to snipe my Cannon, so I snipe it with my Princess, and then I just go for a Mighty Miner on the Flying Machine, and then I go for the ability as well just to finish it off and make him defend my Mighty Miner a little bit. He just splits Zappies. Zappies are really good against Mighty Miner, so not really getting anything out of this. He goes for Recruits there, and this is where I'd really love to have my Log right away, but I have to waste my Fire Spirit, so I go for Log. Fire Spirit the back that's going to jump later, and then go for Cannon Skellies in the middle just to pull the Recruits in. And I know he's going to go Royal Hogs here, but I couldn't do anything about it. I just have to eat a lot of damage because if you look at my cycle, I didn't have anything good because because of the recruits. Like, that's why this matchup is so bad. He has spells for everything. Golden Knight's really good against bait, and then Flying Machine's really good. And your only card that really is dealing damage to the recruits are your Cannon and your Princess, because Mighty Miner doesn't really do anything versus recruits because they have shields, and it like takes a while to heat up, and the like shield doesn't really let it heat up, and they go. I also have Zappies on both sides, so when are you ever really going to be doing damage to it with the Mighty Miner anyway? So I'm really mad, and I'm spamming emotes, but he split Zappies, so I just go for Skeletons and then Princess. You always want to use your Princess really well in this matchup, because even though he does have arrows, you do have a little bit of a faster cycle than him, so you always want to be abusing your Princess and placing it down a lot. Even though he does have like the Flying Machine to like kind of undermine your Princess. I go for Mighty Miner here just to protect it from the Zappy, and it will also kill the Golden Knight, which is great. So I keep going for Goblin Barrels. The only reason I ever go for Goblin Barrels, I know it's never going to get any damage, but I'm doing it just because I want to bait out the arrows, because like he will have to arrows them, so I can keep my Princesses alive. Go for a Fire Spirit here on the Flying Machine, and then I think I log on the right side. Yeah, I log on the right side instead of the left because my Princess will like start shooting those ones down and pretty much kill them. So go for another Princess here in the middle. My Princess starts killing the Zappies. I go for Cannon in the middle, and then you always want to pull the like everything into the middle to your Cannon. You want both your towers helping out as much as possible. That was possibly the worst Flying Machine you could have played, so I rocketed it. That Flying Machine probably is what helped me win this game. And the Golden Knight went crazy there, and I was super mad again because like I thought maybe I have a chance, and the Golden Knight does that and gives him like equal damage on both sides. So now like I can't even like eat damage on one side, because like a lot of the time in this matchup they'll have a lot of damage in one side, and then like you have to start eating damage on the other side, because usually they get a bunch of damage on each lane. But very solid defense there, and I don't really take any damage except for these two Flying Machine shots that he gets, and I Princess the bridge to force up the arrows, and I need a little bit of damage because if you look, I'm trying to get it to where I only need to rocket the tower one time to win. I don't rocket that Golden Knight there. That was a rocket bait, because if I rocket there, he's just going to Royal Recruits the bridge and Flying Machine in the middle, and I wouldn't have had enough elixir to defend, so he's just trying to bait my rocket right there. I logged a left because there was 4 recruits, and I get a quick Princess Fire Spirit to pretty much kill the recruits, so really bad by him. Then I go for Goblin Barrel to force out the Barb Barrel. I go for another Princess in the back here on the right side, I think. Yeah, I do. Okay, and then I go for a log on those 2 Zappies because I want to keep my Princess alive, and then I go for a Goblin Barrel here, and that's the rare time where I outcycled both of his spells, and just Golden Knight kills everything. I Mighty Miner here for the Flying Machine because I know that I can pop my ability and finish off the Golden Knight. So I go for the Princess in the back, and as you notice, I'm never ever putting my 2 Princesses like in spots where you can arrows 2 of them. They're always in opposite lanes of each other and stuff like that, so you can never get 2 of them at once. So I go for another Princess here. I go for Fire Spirit, Cannon, Log, and then I go for another Goblin Barrel here. I outcycled both of his spells again. So I go for a Mighty Miner there, but I still get no damage on the Goblin Barrel, and here I'm down like 1,000 damage, so here I'm still thinking that I lost. I go for another Princess in the back, like on the side to snipe the Zappies, I guess, and then I go for a Goblin Barrel and Mighty Miner ability, and he actually misses it, so he has to waste a Golden Knight, and this is what won me the game. I rocket on the Golden Knight because he had to use it since he missed the Goblin Barrel. I log here to kill the Zappies because 2 Princess shots plus log kills Zappies, and then I go for the Cannon here. Then I go for Mighty Miner at the bridge to block the Flying Machine, and then I know I can take a little bit of damage on the left, so I just go for rocket on the tower, and yeah, he actually like lost this. Like, even though he made like a few mistakes where like he gave me like some rocket damage, I should never be able to defend. Like, the game should always defend in me taking the tower, so I mean in him taking the tower. So I do BM him a little bit because to lose that matchup you have to play without your hands, but that was really nice. So in this next game I'm going to be showing here, I'm against Wallace, and he's playing RG Lightning, so pretty difficult matchup, and he does even have the Giant Skeleton, which is really good against the Cannon. Like, it's just blocking the Cannon the whole time. The one thing though is that the Mighty Miner itself is really good against the Cannon, so like we're kind of like countering each other in this one, where like Mighty Miner beats Giant Skeleton, but Giant Skeleton beats Cannon, and it's a pretty interesting game. So I go with Princess in the back because I didn't know his deck just yet, because he plays with a few decks. I go for Goblin Barrel on the left here. I know he's not playing a Tornado deck since he did use the Fisherman, so I go for Fire Spirit on the left because he didn't have a cycle card in cycle, so I just went for it right at the bridge there. And then I just counter the Hunter with Skeletons, and then I go for a log on the Fisherman. The best time to play your Fire Spirit is when they don't have like a 1 elixir card for it, because then they have to overspend with like a 2 elixir card, or sometimes I guess the arrow was a 4 elixir card, so I got a +2 trade there because I countered it with skeletons. So I go for a Mighty Miner here on the Ghost because he doesn't have login cycle, and then I go for a Goblin Barrel with the Mighty Miner. That was really good skeletons by him. He knew what I was going to do, and he only takes 1 hit from the Goblin Barrel where I expected to get much more damage. He also didn't have Hunter, so he had his 2 good Goblin Barrel counters out of cycle. And this push here is pretty scary because I know he's going to RG behind the Giant Skeleton, but I know I can get back to my Mighty Miner, so go for Cannon and Skeletons on the Giant Skeleton, go for Fire Spirit, then I go for Mighty Miner behind to snipe the RG. And the Giant Skeleton is actually pushing back the RG, so it didn't end up killing the cannon like it normally would have. And then I just go for Princess at the bridge because the cycle is really bad, and goes for Hunter on the Princess. I mean, not the Princess, on the Mighty Miner. And I got really unlucky there. I tried to pop my ability, but it didn't go off. I still remember that. I was really mad, but then he went Royal Ghost anyway, so I didn't really mind. And I went for Skeletons on this Hunter here, so my cannon would end up killing the Ghost. In this matchup, you're really just applying a lot of pressure because you have a much faster cycle than them because they only have 1 cycle card. So your cycle is much quicker, so you want to be applying a lot of pressure because they're going to have a hard time defending your Goblin Barrels. I go for Mighty Miner Princess here because I thought that he would go for something at the bridge right away, but he went for a Fisherman in the middle first. That was good by him, but I know I can still defend because his offense is super expensive. Because the thing is, to break through, he needs a Giant Skelly RG Lightning or an RG Lightning, but how often is he going to be able to go Giant Skelly, RG, and Lightning all in the same push? So I go for Princess here just to pull away the Giant Skeleton, and I was really happy that it didn't die, but then it just gets blows up by the bomb, and it was like, oh. I just go for Skeletons here on the Hunter, and then I cycle an early cannon for the Giant Skeleton. Go for Goblin Barrel. He predicted it, but it was fine because I needed to cycle anyway. Then I go for the ability, Terrible Fisherman. I think that's the worst Fisherman he could have played. He should have put it in the middle, so it would have pulled it anyway. But doing that, he just let it kill the whole Giant Skeleton and the Ghost. So I just go for another cannon here. Go for another pair of Skeletons. And if you notice his deck, he doesn't have E-Spirit in here, so he has no way to kill Skeletons except for Logs. So you want to be abusing your Skeletons on defense. Like you saw there, I cycled 2 sets of Skeletons on 1 RG because it's he can't kill them unless he logs, and obviously he can't be using log on 3-4 Skeletons. So I go for Goblin Barrel just to outcycle him, and then he goes Giant Skeleton at the back, so I just Mighty Miner the back. You always want to be Mighty Minering into the Giant Skeleton if you can. Then I just go for another... Oh, I didn't. I thought I went for Princess in the back there, but I actually go for Log and Goblin Barrel. I think Princess the back would have been safer, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Go for Cannon here. I know I go for Fire Spirit Log just to kill the Ghost, and then I don't pop the ability just because there's no point. I'll just die to the Hunter, so I just let it go. Then I go for Princess at the bridge because I didn't think he would expect it, and he didn't. So I end up getting... I think I get 3 shots because I blocked it here with the Skellies, which also forced out the Hunter. Then here he's in 2 rocket ranges, so I'm just waiting to get an opportunity to rocket the tower twice. And here I was going to start rocketing the tower because if you look up the Mighty Miner down, but he just RGs the back. I was laughing at that because that's the worst play he could have made. When someone's only needs to spell your tower twice, you want to go at the bridge, not in the back where you can give them all the time they need to use their spells. But I don't know why he RG'd the back. That was really, really funny to me at the time. But that match was super clean. Not very often on the last day of the season do you beat somebody by 3,500 HP. Alright, so I'm in the next game against Leste here. I'm showing this game because even though, okay, so at the beginning of the game, he does lag a little bit when I Goblin Barrel the tower, and he doesn't, he takes a lot of damage, but I felt like it was a really good demonstration on, how to play against Expo in general. He does lag here, and he doesn't, put anything down. I don't know if it was brain lag, because he was touching the E-Spirit, so it could have definitely been brain lag, but I just go for the Mighty Miner ability and Skeletons here, but I feel like this was a really good game, in general, on how to deal with Expo, and a lot of you guys said you really struggle against 3.0 Expo and just Expo in general. So I just wanted to show how to beat it. I just go for Princess and I rocket here, and I try to get my Fire Spirit down to protect the Princess, but it died anyway. But watching it back now, that didn't really matter because the Knight would have killed it, and I didn't have Skeletons in cycle to block it, so it didn't matter. But at the time, I was kind of annoyed. And honestly, the start didn't really even matter because he just rockets my tower here, and he has a damage lead, so... Oh wait, no he doesn't. He Archer Queen's the back. I thought he rocketed my tower there. I guess not. I just go for a Log here on the Archer Queen. I go for Skeletons, and then I go for a Princess on it. Oh yeah, he rocketed my tower now. I remember being confused on why he did that instead of just rocketing. because now I just do Mighty Miner on it, and then I pop the ability, which will protect it. Like, it just blocks it from the cannon. And I go for Goblin Barrel on the right to force up the log, and then I cannon on his cannon, knowing that, like, if he goes Knight on my Princess, his Knight will die, and then I could Princess on the right again. So I just go for Fire Spirit here. I did a mistake. I didn't need to log on the skeletons there. The cannon would have cleaned it all up anyways, but it was fine. I just go for another Princess at the bridge here on the left, because I know it's going to get 2 shots before he gets the cannon down. So all is good, 3 for 3, but I get like 450 damage. I go for Goblin Barrel as well. He has log, but I'm just looking to outcycle him here. And then from here, you just want to be really careful with your cycling. Like, this is a really weird and annoying matchup. Like, the matchup is really bad because of the Archer Queen and the Rocket, but go for Fire Spirit in the back here. I log on the cannon. Go for Princess, and then I go for Goblin Barrel again. He's back to log, so I'm just looking to outcycle him because he's going to be rocket cycling, and it's really hard for me to get away with rocketing their tower back. So go for Mighty Miner here, and then a Princess to bridge because I didn't think he would expect it, and he didn't, so I'm going to get another 2 shots here. Then I go for a Goblin Barrel. He's back to log, but I know this time that I'm going to end up outcycling him because I do have a Mighty Miner down. So go for Skeletons, go for Fire Spirit. I just rocket here. I hit the Knight, and then I go for Goblin Barrel. You see his cycle. He has a really weird cycle, so I get some really good damage there. And then I get a Princess shot, I think. Yeah, I log the Archer Queen back. I know my Princess is going to die. The biggest thing about the Princess is you need to know when to let it go, and like, people, like, lose a lot of their log bait games because they overprotect or underprotect their Princess. You need to know when, like, your Princess can't be protected anymore, and you need to know when, like, you need to keep protecting it. So I go for Mighty Miner to protect my Princess here. I Goblin Barrel, and I just can on the Expo because I know with the cycle that he had, he couldn't block a cannon because a cannon can't block an Expo from a cannon when their Expo's in the middle. It can't even attack the cannon back unless I put it all the way up, but if you look at the placement, I put it 1 tile back, so he actually couldn't do that. So I know he's in 2 rockets range, but you still need to be really careful because he does have the Archer Queen down, so anything can happen. Go for another Princess here. I go for the ability just to protect my Princess. Then I go for Skeletons as well. I go for Rocket on this just to be safe. I get my Princess on the tower for 1 shot. And then I know that I just need to get 2 rockets, but it's really, like, scary trying to rocket, like, two rocket an Expo player's tower when they have an Archer Queen, because Archer Queen at the bridge, like, kills your Mighty Miner so quickly. So I go for Mighty Miner cannon and then Princess as well, just to snipe down the cannon and stuff like that. And, like, it will also, like, it's helping against the Knight too, and, like, every time it shoots, it's splashing on the Expo. So Fire Spirit kills that, and then let's go for Goblin Barrel here. And here, I should have rocketed, but I remember not doing it. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I did remember not rocketing. I go for Princess again. I should have rocketed. Like, when I put that log on the tower, I should have just rocketed. I go for Goblin Barrel here, and then I log again. Now I'm only in, like, rocket log range. I guess I was just playing safe, but looking back, I really should have just, like, rocketed the tower twice right there after defending that Expo. But here, it's just game. He gives up, and yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and next video will be me either best of 5ing manual or playing with the new Goblin Gang. Bye.